Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. I am Deepika. I am the host for today's webinar. Thank you for joining us today for this informative webinar on the topic of cybersecurity attacks implementation tools. In today's digital world, cybersecurity attacks are becoming more common and advanced. Attackers use various tools to exploit system vulnerabilities and gain unauthorized access. Understanding these implementation tools helps individuals and organizations detect threats early and strengthen their security to stay protected. To guide us on this topic, we are honored to have with us an experienced speaker. It is my great privilege to introduce our speaker, Mr. Sriram Krishna sir. He is an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology at KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore. He is also a professional gate trainer known for his ability to simplify complex concepts and guide students toward academic success. He is an expert in electromagnetics and also works as a cybersecurity engineer, bringing both academic excellence and practical industry knowledge into his sessions. Now, I request Mr. Sriram Krishna sir to kindly take over the session. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the introduction. And thank you all students for joining us. I have a various backdrop of students, and I know quite a few of them could be from Avanzo's social medias or maybe from Avanzo. Some of them are my students also, I believe. I can see some of my IT students. So this is about not a seminar. It's not to be boring, where you just keep your mic in mute and then you sleep and then you enjoy and then 1 hour it's over. It may not even last 1 hour. It may last 1.5 hours. It may be 45 minutes. But I want it to be interactive. I want you to understand what you have come for, right? So it is not actually a seminar. It is about me speaking to you and giving you some guidelines as to how you understand when you want to go into cybersecurity. Because see, when you pay so much of fees to different institutes or to YouTube or anywhere, you are confused as to which course to begin or where to begin and what to begin in it. So this is actually for beginners to understand the tools. It's to understand what level you have to reach, right? For that it is actually. So be interactive. Anytime you got any doubts, feel free to ask me. That's about myself, Sriram Krishna Suresh. But I skipped a small portion of my name. Patikuti Sriram Krishna Suresh, but it's too lengthy. So I'm called as Suresh actually many times. But in YouTube, I'm popular as VSR Suresh. Okay, maybe in VSR is more popular. So I've been there teaching for the last 26 years without any boredom. I'm teaching because teaching is my passion. And I don't teach boringly, okay? I never get bored. I don't allow my students to get bored. I teach very passionately I teach. So you'll never get bored. But I was a professional gate trainer, though I was a cybersecurity expert in 2010 era, 2010. That means it's very, very, very old dinosaur era of cybersecurity. Then I was more a gate trainer. Then I was, of course, into an academies and medices. And that's, if you Google out about myself, these are the details you'll get. If you Google, probably these will be the details you'll get about me. Who is VSR Suresh? If you type out. I was there handling electromagnetics majorly. One of the toughest subjects is electromagnetics. So handling it at Medici and Academy online platforms. So that's about myself in Google. But one thing I achieved in life, what was my biggest achievement was, If you type out as best teacher for EMFT GATE EC in India, because GATE exam is only for India, so best teacher for EMFT GATE EC, you will surely get my name. In spite of the fact that I have not done any YouTube video in the last 1.5 year, almost 1.5 year, I have not done any video, no search engine optimization, no video done by me in YouTube actively, except 1 or 2 videos, 1 or 2 I've done. I still continue to be in that list. Whereas other teachers who are into YouTube, who are into search engine optimizations by big brands, still I'm into it. So that is one of the biggest achievement I've got. So no search engine optimization, but still my names come because of the hard work I've done in that COVID era. I was a very active teacher in that COVID era. 2022, 23, I did. After that, I didn't do much videos. So you can know about my understanding of electromagnetics. Maybe today's session may be more about, not about electromagnetics, but still. So my major expertise is antennas. I enjoy teaching antennas. But right now, of course, I'm a more a family man, not much into active gate training and all. I'm more into KPR Institute as a very normal faculty there, teaching for IT department and guiding my students. It's like, most like a post-retirement work. After you play a lot of cricket, you have to go for umpiring. You go for commentary. So like that, after teaching gate and all that, all the things done, I'm now enjoying my life with KPR Institute. So I'm right now at KPR as an assistant professor 2. So that's about myself. Well, let's start. Shall we start the session? This is KPR, one of my, my morning vibes start here. Beautiful college. We got lush green campus. We have terrifically good infrastructure. And see in fact, you're seeing only 80% of the college. The 20% is not visible in the drone view. You're seeing 80% only. In fact, this is where my morning vibe starts. Lush green campus. So that's about my college. That's about me. But this is something you should be learning. This is the person who actually inspired me into ethical hacking. 26 years back, when I was a young BTech graduate, he was, I think, more younger than me at the time. He was much younger, 18-year-old. This fellow has been a sensation in the 2000 era for writing books and also for technically hacking and showing to the world how you can do it. He was the one who actually, exposed that vulnerabilities of Windows in those days. Ankit Fadia, his name is. So because of this fellow only, till now, if you look at most movies, you will find ethical hacking being done only by youngsters. Maybe here that Neil Nitin Mukesh is an exception, but most ethical hacking is done by youngsters because you got to be updated. That's where you can do it. We at 49, 450 can't do it. I also was an ethical hacker. I was an ethical hacker in 2010 when I was an youngster. So remember that whether it is Ankit Fadia or whether it is this fellow, anybody, it's an youngster who can do it. The reason is updated knowledge. The updated knowledge, once you have, obviously you can do it. So very first question that all of you will ask me is, can I be a good hacker? I wrote some Gen Z shortcuts to attract you. I believe you can understand Gen Z. I can understand, but I think I wrote, can I be a good hacker? Yes, the answer is, the question let me ask you is, can you attack a prime minister with a small knife? Can you attack the prime minister or do some damage with a very small knife in your hand? Obviously not. Maybe even 100 years back it was not possible. Similarly, if you want to be a good hacker, ethical or non-ethical, you can be a good hacker undoubtedly, but you need the right tools. You have to have the right tools. That means hacking is not the stupid thing that you see in movies, where a young chap comes, opens laptop, types something here and there, and says, yeah, hack, done. No, it's not like that. You should not expect such a thing. It's hard work of taking the tools, strategically planning, then attacking, or then defending or attacking, whatever it is. So you got to understand tools and use them. Are you very clear with the students? Hacking is not just writing a piece of code and then dumping it in somebody's system. Hacking is not as simple as what you show in movies. Attacking a huge resource person is not with a knife. You have to have the right planning, strategy, timing, place, location, guns, bombs. Similarly, you need all these tools, students. That is where you're actually at the right point. So when somebody asks you, can I be a good hacker? Yes, you can. But the next question comes. This is very important. Can I alone manage hacking? Me alone, like how they show in movies, one guy is there and he's doing it all himself. No, that is not possible. Nowadays, it is not possible. Hackers need a very good team. It needs very good support because you have to crack multiple levels. You have to crack at different levels. You need a team. When you're attacking a big person, you need a person who is telling where his location is, one person who is setting the bomb, then one person taking the gun and following that person, one having a walkie-talkie. So you need a team of 4 or 5 people. Similarly, ethical hacking also is not easy with all alone. It needs a team. You can't manage. It's very clear that as a technology, it's too advanced. So even the tools or your talent need support. You may use very advanced tools, you may have very good talent, but it needs support. So alone, please don't think of going for hacking. Don't even think of hacking. The tools and technology is so advanced. You try to attack a big shot, then you have to understand that they're also having a team, right? They're also having a team, and you'll be easily caught. Yes, please. Any questions? Right. So I understand that you need tools. Please mute yourself, whoever it is. Please mute down, please. Admin, can you please mute us, if possible, on the admin side? Okay. So students, I was talking about hacking. The very first attacks, things you are expected to know is attacks. What can you attack or what are you supposed to defend? So I expect that you as a student or somebody as a fresher should be knowing the types of attacks. Maybe some of you know the attacks, but I'll tell you what tool to use for which attack. Okay. So basically, students, if you want to be good at hacking, you should know types of attacks. The first is DOS attack. What is DOS attack? Denial of service attack. If you do it on one system, if you're doing it in internet, if you're doing it over a distributed net or over a larger network, it's called as distributed DOS. Distributed DOS means distributed denial of service attack. So what actually does it comprise of? It's a malicious attempt. It's some sort of an attack to crash or disrupt a service or a server or a network by flooding it with so much of information, putting so much of information that the website can't handle it. That's DOS attack. So basically, you're seeing that the genuine user is not getting it and you're happy with it. You're cracking the availability part of a network or a website. Imagine gate results have come 2 days back and the gate website is flushed fully, full of, it's hanging out. Nobody is getting the results. Reason? Lakhs of people are trying to check the results. IRCT website, daily morning 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at Tatkal time. Completely, it's very tough to manage it. Denial of service because so many people are trying. So all these are practical examples where actually physically it's happening. Maybe sometimes you try to attack it in the same way. So I hope you understand what is DOS attack. It's flooding with information and seeing that the genuine person is not able to access it. It's like, see, look at a highway being jammed with cars. So your entire bandwidth is being jammed with packets. Your packets are jamming it. So that's where I can see DOS attack happening as if there has been some traffic jam. How do you do it? And what are the worst attacks that happened so far? How do you do it? Let's discuss. But what are the worst attacks? The worst I remember was the 2017 Google attack, where there's TCP packets have been flooded. TCP packets. And note the data, it's 2.5 terabits per second. Please note the data. It's 2.5 terabits per second. Please note tera. Tera means 10 power 12. Similarly, on AWS cloud, there has been an attack in 2020 at 2.3 terabits per second. Terabits. And it is not TCP packets, it's sync packets, request packets, sync request. Very simple. See, you yourself can do an nice DOS attack on your brother or sister at home who is using Bluetooth. Just repeatedly send Bluetooth request to your friend or brother when he is using Bluetooth pairing request, pair, and he frequently will be getting a disturbance in the music. Somebody is requesting to pair, somebody is requesting pair. That's a beautiful attack. Very simple attack, but you understood, na? Irritating your friend with Bluetooth request, pair request. Like that sync request, if you do it to AWS at 2.3 terabits per second, that's a beautiful attack. Are you following, students? Are you following this logic? So worldwide, if you look at what were some of the drastic attacks that took place, I found something like 21 TBPS attack, 21 terabits per second happening. 4.1 terabits per second. My question is, can you alone try this to happen? Can you try this? Getting terabits? No, obviously, because the reason is your house supports 100 Mbps speed. So even if you're doing your worst of the worst speed of typing, you can only generate megabits, which is 10 power 6. Which means from your home, you should be able to send 10 power 12 by 10 power 6, which means 1 million packets you have to send. Or at least you need 1 million of you to send this. And you can't get an army of 1 million for you, right? So it is not possible with you alone doing it. Your internet speed, maybe you can purchase at 1 Gbps. Maybe in IITs and premier institutes, it may be 10 Gbps. But how do you get terabits? You alone can't do it. You can never do it. So what should you do for it? How do you attack it? This is the mantra. This is the mantra. You got to have some software which will infect cameras, smartphones, and number of such devices which are on the internet, IoT devices. So you have to infect them. You got to do something for them. And then once these infected devices start sending messages to some server randomly, you'll tell it which server to send. So you and all the smart devices on IoT are sending flooding requests. That is how you can create a traffic jam. So if you want to create a traffic jam on such a road, you need to have at least 100 cars. 100 cars or 200 cars are needed. Otherwise, you take one car and put it. Police will come and remove and you will go away. So similarly, when you want to actually jam or, when you want to put that network under pressure, you need to have some tools which will first infect some vulnerable devices like the smart cams or maybe anything. And these bots will now keep giving commands. They'll keep giving commands now. They'll be putting some request, or maybe they'll be sending some data. Maybe they'll be sending some random video. Who knows, the camera is sending some random video to this site. And random video is very dangerous because the volume of data will be very large. So that is how you have to go for DOS attack. Any tools for it? Yeah, obviously, we got some tools which can produce such dummy traffic. There are tools which can produce such duplicate traffic. Low orbit ion cannon, high orbit ion cannon, Sloris. Sloris is actually name of an animal, which is also famous for walking very slowly. So Sloris is one such tool which will send HTTP request packets, and keep on dumping. I'm sure you'll be fascinated to download the tools and check. Don't try. They're licensed and very costly. You won't get them. Stories you can try, but they're very costly. And even if you try it also, authentications and all won't work. Don't try. It needs very systematic approach. I'll give you an AK-47 now. What will you do with it? Will you immediately use it? No, no. It needs training. AK-47 is tough to hold. And similarly, Sloris, if you download, don't try to do anything with it. You can't do anything. You need training. You need pakka training. Similarly, Hulk for HTTP requests. Everybody is requesting that site. Are you following the students? This is how you go for DOS attacks of producing terabytes from internet connections of 1 gigabyte or 100 Mbps. So you need to be using tools for sure. That is what I was trying to tell you. Am I clear with it? Any questions at this stage? We'll take a 10-second break. If you got any questions, ask me. We'll take a 10 seconds questionnaire. If you got any doubts, ask me. Yeah, Shrejan. Yes, Shrejan, you wanted to ask me something? Feel free. Okay, I'm proceeding forward. With the next vital attack called as malware attack. See, attacks can be classified in different ways and different attacks are there. I just wanted to brief you the basic attacks and how to do them or not to do them. How to do them or how not to do them. Okay, that's my agenda. So malware attack is a very simple thing which you should have heard of, that you'll be sending some dummy code or some sort of an, what I call it as a executive file, exe file, and that file will be doing its own commands without your keypad and your intervention. That's called as malware attack. So it's a cyber attack where the viruses or the spyware execute on the victim system and they keep disrupting the operations. Imagine myself being under malware attack and my PowerPoint is damaged. Then immediately all my work will stop. My Word file has been damaged. My work will stop. So malware is sending an exe file ultimately. Sending some exe file written in Java or in C or in Python and let that exe file enter into the other system. That's where malware starts its work. So you have executed some sort of an code, compiled it, run it, and that is being sent. And that is opening the mouse itself. It's running the mouse. It's opening the camera itself. Imagine this, how dangerous. That's called as malware attack, right? How does it actually work? It can work with viruses, injecting viruses, or maybe worms, where worms are self-spreading. Virus means you need to enter some keypad or something. Like if you say Control Z, virus will execute, otherwise it doesn't execute. So virus, trojans, worms, they're all ultimately let into your computer. What is Trojan? Trojan is very interestingly different. Trojan is where it looks to be very simple, like some image file. I'll send you some image file of some Zenzi girl. Looks very nice. But behind it, there is actually an exe file embedded in the pixels. That's called as Trojan. So in your pixels, instead of 10111 for some color, I'll put my exe files 1011. You're getting that? You're getting it? So, no null, I'm just coming to SQL injection and all. That's all the same. Ultimately, that's what SQL injection is, nothing but a query. It's putting a query into your database. Like your college database, I'm asking some query and getting all the database, though it is encrypted, though it is not to be retrieved. If I get it, that's called as SQL injection. So what are your technique is, a Trojan is very interesting. A Trojan is where it looks like a JPG file, but when you open the JPG file, its 1010s will be executing different code. Instead of a color image, it will suddenly become black and white, and behind it, it will be executing some code. That's called as Trojan. So in all these malware executions or in all this, the result is huge damage to your system. If you look at history, what was some of the interesting malware attacks was in 2000 when I was just finished my graduation. There was an email circulating called as "I love you, I love you, I love you." That's very catchy words. Everybody used to open it, especially youngsters used to open it. And once they open it, there was actually an .exe attachment. Now this .exe attachment, people used to never see it because they used to write it like this: www dot ashrai dot jpg dot exe. Maybe www is not needed, so let me say like this. So in those days, Windows had a loophole. You know what was the loophole? Windows 1995 did not show file extensions. So though it was an exe file, the name was aishwaryarai.jpg, and that days Aishwarya was a huge craze. She was a huge craze getting her photo, and that too with the subject like this. People pakka used to open it. And that's where you should know the loopholes. 25 years back, it could be an interesting loophole. Now it is not interesting. But you got the logic, students? That is how I Love You Worm seriously attacked in 2000. Then came the Mirai botnet. Mirai botnet was actually used for DOS attack. They, as I told you, they were actually corrupting most of the systems, cameras, all the IoT devices they're corrupting. Because most IoT devices come with Chinese backdrop. So those Chinese backdrop and those Chinese items had some chances of producing false data. So that is Mirai botnet. Similarly, WannaCry is also one such thing which was done in 2017, and its execution is also very interesting. See how WannaCry execution see this is your generation now. My generation, this is over. Now Windows has all the support. Windows is not giving you so many features. So my generation, malware was through Aishwarya Rai. Now your generation, obviously, it's more interesting. See, what do they do? See, they initiate by targeting open ports, any port which is actually open, left up, or exposed, which is not used. Could be some USB port, or could be some HTTP port, or could be any port which you're not using. Like in a house, we have extra doors, and that door maybe we are not using it. We use only the main door, but there is one door behind, not regularly used. Similarly, there are chances of having open ports, and this open port we send some TCP or UDP message and try to access it. So that is the reason why open port should always be closed properly. You can't say that port I'm not using it, so let it be. No. That port could be programmed for your requirements or for the hacker requirements. So WannaCry in 2017, which is very recent, had an open port through which some TCP or UDP data was sent, and that data or the TCP UDP data was actually having an exe file. That's a Trojan, and that did maliciously good attack. See, if you want to understand open ports, look at a simple Raspberry Pi kit, because I couldn't get you an actual motherboard, but look at a Raspberry Pi kit. Maybe Raspberry Pi kit, I just took it as an example, because for kiosk hacking kiosks, hacking some small vending machines, Raspberry Pi is what is used. So just as the example I gave you. Look at this port. There are two USB ports here, two mini HDMI ports. One is for the internet and Ethernet. And here also you can see some interfacing units. These are GPIO units. Maybe these are cannot be hacked, but all these ports will be left out open now. So those ports you can give some command, and then you can actually cause damage. Sir, how do we know which port is open and which port is functioning? Yeah, for that, first of all, you should know which port is used for what. Typical port numbers you should learn. Sir, what if I don't learn? If you're not learning, how will you send the command to that port? So HTTP traffic is generally through port 80. Secure HTTP 443, that is a number. This is why learning is important, not attacking just. If I want to attack somebody with a knife, it is not possible. But if you have the right tools, You should know where the person is going, when is he coming back, like that. Similarly, if you know these ports, which all ports are meant for what, then using these tools, you can pakka have a recce done. You can capture the packets or send some data to it. That's what is networkmap.org, Nmap, network mapping tools, SolarWinds. All these are to scan open ports. So if you take nmap.org and run on some website, it will tell you in that website what are the deficiencies. It will tell you in that server what are the problems that server has got, which port that server has left open, which port it is used for what. That's why they're called as scanning tools, open port scanning tools. You got to learn them. Are you following the students? SolarWinds. Actually, you got latest tools, much more latest. I gave you some 2-3 year old tools. 2-3 years back, they were. See, in cybersecurity, and every year you get old. I was a 2010 generation old model. But if you look at the last 2 years also, these were the tools used. Now your generation may use much advanced. But 2022, 23, at the time, these are the best tools. Nessus. Nmap is still used widely. SolarWinds, Kismet. All these are used for port scanning so that you will identify vulnerabilities or mistakes. Just imagine going to some vending machine or some kiosk which is on Raspberry Pi and do some magic there and then let your cool drinks or everything come out of it. How nice it looks. No, it's actually not ethical, but some satisfaction. Nah? It may be 20-30 rupees only for you, but if you can run these tools, are you following the students? So these are the port numbers I'm expecting to learn. This is how the scanning tools are going to run. Shall we go to the third attack now? Another 20 seconds gap. If you want to ask me something, you can ask me. 20 seconds, take a gap. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me. My students, or actually I invited some of my students also for that, so that maybe they'll also be learning something. Because it's all about choosing the right tool. Maybe I'll tell you in the ending also which tool suits for what, why the tool is important. Any questions, anybody? Anybody in the chat? I couldn't see the chat. Okay, I'm able to see the chat now. Only one message. Nmap actually, it's not going to tell you completely about the ports. It will tell you which ports are configured in what way, right? If you look at a home will, if you take the photo of the home, you'll understand how many windows are there and how many main doors are there. Similarly, Nmap will tell you for what all protocols, which all ports have been complete, depending on the application. Then it will tell you what are left out. Suppose if it is a net banking application, some of the ports may not be needed now, because in net banking, you don't give all the details. So like that, Nmap will actually map out what are the ports that the protocols are presently using, what protocols are being used. Accordingly, we'll get an idea which are left out and which are open and which are closed. That's something not very difficult. That's a very simple thing. Okay, got it. Anybody else, any questions, or shall I go to the third attack? And how to do this, let's see. Toughest attack actually. Easiest is DOS attack. Probably you should never try it, but easiest is that. Then, yeah, the next one is malware injection is equally tough. Phishing, last one I'll discuss, that's very easy. Phishing attack is also quite simple. That you can in fact try it on your friends or anybody whom you know better. But I'll tell you when to use and when not to use, I'll tell you. So DOS attack and phishing attacks are actually practical. There you can try. If you have the simple tools, you can try them. Okay. Actually, I was slightly afraid to teach this topic in my college for my third years also. Sometimes I taught, sometimes I didn't teach my third years, and final years we added in the syllabus. I didn't teach them because if they by mistake try this in the college LAN, they'll be pakka caught. And if they're caught pakka, they'll tell my name. So that's why I didn't teach them most of these tools. Though final years had them in the syllabus, they're also busy with campus placements and all. But otherwise, these tools can be actually used. I'll tell you to what extent you can use them, I'll tell you. But okay, can we go to the third attack, MIM attack? It's where your actual data is being bypassed to somebody. Somebody else is using it, and they are modifying whatever you want, and then they are retrieving your data. For example, suppose I've used www.hdfcbank.com, and there is backslash something, then backslash VSR, then my account number 2033, then something, then dot something. This was actually the URL through which I've withdrawn 2,000 rupees and send it to some XYZ account from my account. So from my account, 2,000 rupees I've sent, and I've sent to XYZ account. This URL or that request packet, let me call it as request packet. Suppose if I capture it, that request packet, I'm capturing it, and I'm modifying that content in such a way that instead of 2,000, it will be 5,000. And instead of XYZ, I'll send it to hacker account. This is called as man in the middle attack. So what did I do was to capture this particular URL or that packet, and I'm resending it. That's called as a replay attack. It's called as replay attack. In this replay attack, what happens is your packets are not actually going, just have a look at this. Your packets are not actually going directly to the network access point because I'm doing something, I'm impersonating as access point. This is generally done in public Wi-Fi's, not in private Wi-Fi's. So I'm acting as some IP address of this internet. I'm sending you the request, I'm getting the response, and I'm sending it. So your data is going through me. This is called as man in the middle attack. Are you following this, students? And man in the middle attack is not that easy because it needs lot of impersonation. Could be ARP spoofing. What is ARP? Address Resolution Protocol. So I am actually sending it to www. Something which is 178.198.256, some IP address. I'm spoofing that IP address. That's called as ARP spoofing. Or it can be domain name server spoofing, DNS, domain name server. Or it can be, changing the security patterns. I'm trying to downgrade the security. I'm trying to remove some security. Or it can be session hijacking. What I told you, session hijacking, that you can avoid by timestamping so that after some time that packet won't be valid. But you can certainly try this, students, by either spoofing your address resolution protocol, ARP, or your domain name servers. This is how it's actually achieved. Any doubts, anybody, students, about MIM, man in the middle attack? So it's a cyber attack where the attacker secretly relays and alters the communication between two parties who think they're actually directly communicating to each other. And all this, you have to do it, students, if you want to be a good cyber security expert. What are the tools for it then? Now comes, sir, how do I capture the packets? How do I change the address? How do I generate the data? How do I change the account number? Because it's all 101010 and it's heavily encrypted. Heavy cryptography goes. It's impossibly tough to crack that cryptography. Because it's so much encrypted that you don't know where is the 2,000 amount or where is how to change it to 5,000. The data is not visible that clearly. It's not easy to change the packet and do something like that. So you have to go for something called as network sniffing. You have to go for something called as capturing the packets initially through Metasploit, Burpsuit. All these are called as packet capturing tools. Wireshark, the most popular. Sir, after capturing the packets, can I do it? You can't do it. Still, you can't do it. It's not easy. I told you, na. If I'll give you an AK-47, it doesn't mean that you can immediately use it. It needs training. It needs you to get training on AK-47, how to use it, how to catch it. Similarly, if you know the tool like Wireshark, you can capture the packets, try something with it. Maybe you could be successful in decoding the codes, but still these are the tools. So typically, what does Wireshark do? Look at what Wireshark is doing. See, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Wireshark is telling that from some IP address or from some source, somebody is accessing Netflix. Is it the principal? Is it the HOD? In fact, I tried this once in my college for demonstrating for my final year students. We found somebody using an iPhone or iPad, I think, and his name was also clear. XYZ iPhone, iPad. So it's very clear that, see, I'm not telling that you did a great thing, but it's very clear that somebody is using Netflix because the destination is clearly saying that it's Netflix. It's also clear that some student or somebody is just sending some request, and maybe somebody is having some temporary HTTP data, which is request. Some UDP is also there. UDP could be they're playing games. UDP is majorly for real-time data. Maybe some video call. So there's majorly TCP packets. Okay, safe enough. No UDP packets. Yeah, somebody is just making a DNS. That means just typed www.gmail.com. Somebody is making HTTP request. So what protocol is being used means what application they're running. Are they using social media and videos? Because then repeatedly show UDP. Repeatedly show TCP. This is called as packet sniffing. So Wireshark is an excellent tool for such packet sniffing. Metaspoiled. So does it mean that then I can check the packets and do anything? Not much. Because with the limited command it gives, you can only look at the packet. It's not easy. It's not easy hacking. But yeah, you can look at all the packets, next packet, previous packet. What is the packet size? Because especially if there is repeatedly big size of packets going, 253, 828, 153 packets, it could be most probably the principal, because principal is the one who sends major mails, big mails, and almost major mails will come to the principal only. So you understand that, okay, this is the IP address of my principal. Fine, got it. This is how you should study networks. At your age, this is what you can do. Maybe when you repeatedly capture packets, then maybe you can decode, then you can try. That is a different thing. That's a different thing. Not easy, but yeah, this is what you have to learn at your age. Immediately somebody who is using Netflix Flash application, catch him. This IP address, mark it. And see that IP address repeatedly coming many times again, because the movie is being downloaded. Same IP address is very active, which is actually called Netflix. And that IP address, you can track it. You can inform your admin. You're following it? Jitin James is asking me how automated tools are used in cyber attacks. Automated tools you can use only for DOS attacks and packet capturing and all. With automated tools, you can't do everything, Jitin, because security is too tight now. It's too tight. So even if you have a machine gun now, you can't really attack a country. Like that, you can't really attack an CM also. Not even an ML you can attack with a machine gun. So automated tools are there, but still you need more coordinated planning. You need more idea of the data going, more packets you have to capture, then passwords you have to get. So it's not easy. Automated tools will help you to 90%, but not 100%. Okay, Jitin James, you got my point? Yeah. So that's about Wireshark, and that's about how you actually implement it and its major commands. So can I go to the last attack? Most simplest attack which everybody tries in the world now. This is what everybody is trying, phishing attack. Get the password directly from that fellow itself. Instead of cracking the password, get it from that fellow itself. Instead of trying with trojans and malwares and all, let that fellow speak out something. That's phishing attack. So what is phishing attack, students? It's some sort of a social engineering fraud or a dummy website which looks exactly similar to the original website. So I've got a website called as sbaonline.com. sbaonline.com. I'll create exactly the same website, but the URL will be sbaonline.com. No, onlinesba.com. Just words here and there changed. Onlinesba.com or onlineibs.com or maybe something like that. And the website will look very similar. And then I'll send a mail to that fellow or I'll call that fellow. Hey, your account is being blocked today because you're some criminal, we came to know. So if you're not a criminal, immediately go and open your website. I'm sending the link and tell that you're not a criminal. That's what they say. This person immediately gets panicked because they're saying criminal. Opens that link and sees that SBI site it's going to. He feels it's SBI site only. Enter all his data and all his date of birth, everything. They capture it. I got many such calls from Max Life Insurance. Sir, we are calling from Max Life. Sir, you're getting 1 lakh refund in your insurance. Please tell your date of birth. Sir, please tell your account details, date of birth, mother's name. Once even I told up to PAN card. I see I am such an this and I told once my PAN card number. Then I realized that this one is fooling. And then I started talking to that fellow and I realized I got his details. That is a different thing. But even I was fooled. It's quite natural. They talk in such a way. 1 lakh, if they say you're getting, you'll be tempted, no? So that's phishing attack. So you actually create a website of your own, but impersonate somebody's and say that you enter your data and then gone. See, different types of phishing attacks, see? Just with voice itself they do, like what I got. Sir, please tell me your mother's maiden name. Sir, please tell me your, PAN card number. Because in that, using all those details, what they do, they'll just say forgot password. Once we say forgot password, it'll go for alternate. That's it. And once it'll go to that OTP, they'll say, sir, you got some OTP, please tell that because we're authenticating. I'll feel that it is OTP of that only. That's called as phishing attack. Email phishing. Deep fake impersonation means impersonating as if you're police. Quishing. Quishing is a new word for QR code attacks. Voice based. And one of the most popular recent is the FedEx scam. FedEx scam, which I got a call telling that, sir, a parcel has been booked for Mumbai to Dubai with Aadhaar card, and that parcel is having some drugs in it. And Aadhaar card is yours, he told me. See the FedEx scam. Parcel is going from Mumbai to Dubai with the drugs and with my name and Aadhaar card, they told. Luckily, I heard about it, so I was not panicked. I said, fine, good enough. Please send me that parcel back. I'll use it, I told. And they're saying, no, you're under digital attack, digital arrest. So all these are, very, very interesting attacks that have been developed in the later stages. So I hope you're getting it, students. That's coming to the, more needed necessities. Can I become an hacker? That's one doubt all of you will be getting. Again, I'm telling you, you can, no doubt. You can become a hacker, no doubt. But you have to be good at computer networks. Sir, I can't learn computer networks, OSI model, sir. But I want to become good hacker, sir. I failed in computer networks, sir. I don't know what is TCP, UDP. If you want to bribe for some passport office, you should know the levels in the passport office now. Who is clerk in it? Who is GM in it? Who is issuing passport? Then you can bribe that per different levels. Similarly, when you want to hack something or protect something, you should know about that network completely. Na? You want to rob a house, you should know the windows in that house at least. Na? You should know when they're leaving home and when they're coming home. Na? So similarly, when your intentions are to actually go for ethical hacking, you got to be good at computer networks. Then you'll understand which level I can hack. Okay, which level I can reach. Which protocol has got which weakness. So that's where you should be very careful that you should be good at computer networks. The OSI model, TCP IP model, without which, how can you become a good hacker? So if you want to be a good hacker, undoubtedly you should be good at computer networks and different protocols involved in it. Just imagine yourself, Just a minute. Okay. Imagine you have to rob a letter from the post office. Imagine, yeah, your college has written a letter to your father and you want to get it. What do you do for that? The simple logic, what I believe is, you'll go and attack it from the post office. You'll request the postmaster, sir, please give that letter. Sir, if my father reads it, he'll bang me. Sir, please give it back. Or will you go to the railway station and then from the railway station, that big bag, will you get your letter? Impossible, no? So if you want a small letter, take it from the post office, but don't go and attack the railway train and then blast the train for your letter and your stupid letter written to your father. So there are levels. Similarly, if you want to actually rob money from a bank, you go and get it. That's simple. But will you go to the vault and do it? And if you want to attack the vault, the tools are different. Obviously, attacking the vault, the tools are different. Similarly, if you want to go for an ATM machine and rob the ATM machine, it's simple enough. But what if you try with this entire car, trying to rob the entire ATM money carrying car? It becomes complicated. So the summary of what I'm trying to tell you is not to attack and do all the stupid things. But the summary is this: you got to choose your tools for hacking properly. What level you want to penetrate is important. That is what is called as penetration testing. Are you following it, students? For that, you should know OSA model. Are you going to attack only at the application layer level? Are you going to attack the lower levels, different levels? That's very important. That's why you should know every protocol. If you're attacking at the physical layer or the bottommost layer, you are ending up with only 10s, 10s, 10s encrypted information, which is very tough. It's like attacking the train for your letter. But if you're attacking the TCP, IP and such layers, or 4 layers, or maybe somewhere here, this is good enough. Easy is to attack here. This is like opening the door and going into the house. This is like actually going into the bedroom or where the vault is. This is like breaking your ATM machine. This is like going actually to the vault of the HDFC bank. So there are different levels that you can penetrate, that you decide and then become a hacker. So before you become a hacker, you have to be good at OSA models, computer networks. That's mandatory. Without which there is no meaning of learning anything like hacking. And then most importantly, you have to choose your tool properly. Otherwise, there's no meaning. What level you want to penetrate is very important. That's why penetration testing is one of the most important areas. Why are phishing attacks still successfully possible? Actually, phishing attacks are possible because human greed is like that. It's our problem. See, maybe it could be an old person who has told something and he could have been robbed. It could be an youngster who should have showed some other thing and robbed. So phishing attacks is more connected with human psychology. That's a problem. Phishing attack is more connected with human psychology rather than cyber crimes alone. It's about how they're luring you. That's important. And last and most important, I'll tell you, there's no difference between the tools that a terrorist use and the military people use. See, both of them are using the same tools. But when it comes to military people and what they're using it to protect it. So they also use Nmap and everything to check who all came and who all seen. So even the police people or the ethical hacker, they will be using the same tools to check who came, who went, and so on. And so does terrorists also. Same tools they'll use. It's up to you, whom do you want to become. It's up to you in what sort of tools you're choosing. Am I very clear? Ethical hacking and attacker. It's all about what you want to become. Is that clear? So, yeah, that's the difference between the terrorist and the police. See, the policeman has got a lot more protection nowadays. All the terrorist is having is one mask covering himself. So, be cautious. And if you got any questions, ask me. That's all for today's class. If you got any doubts, ask me. I just taught you as a beginner where you can start your career. That's all. I just taught you how a beginner could be looking at career. Icefox is asking me, give me a roadmap to become a network engineer. Very simple. There's not much roadmap. You can start with CCNA certification. Most basic CCNA certification courses there. Now start with that. That's sufficient. Because your college curriculum may not make you a very good network engineer. So you start with Cisco certification. It's called a CCNA certification. It's hardly 3-4 months program, and exam will cost you around 5,000-6,000 to write. Write the basic level. From that, there are different levels. You would start with CCNA certification. Videos are available in Cisco website. You have to pay for it. That's it. How does attackers bypass security systems? Yeah, obviously, null is asking me how does attackers bypass security systems. See, attackers will bypass security systems exactly in the same way how you physically do it when you're going to attack somebody. Breaking windows for robbing, or putting bombs on roads for bigger level. Similarly, they check your vulnerabilities or open ports that are there in your programming or in your website, and then accordingly they'll attack. Suppose your website is meant for taking data from people and doing some e-commerce, right? In that they'll check how that e-commerce is happening and what are, right? So from that they'll be doing it. Like if you look at AWS is providing me web space, but Razorpay is giving me scope to pay. So Razorpay is I'm using it for payment. AWS for my videos, my website or my Gate Pro. So I'll check what are the loopholes in Razorpay and suitably attack. So it is all about knowing the loopholes. So it's not out of the world, but it is possible. Is that clear? Nope, null. Can I know your name rather than nope, null? I would like to know your name more and your backdrop. What actually is your application that you want to rob or you want to secure? Also, you should know, right? Sai, I hope you're getting this very point. So what actually you want to protect is also important. See, if you're a security guard in an ATM machine, your protection is very simple. But if you're a military officer somewhere in a sensitive area like Kashmir, you are at a different level of security. So similarly, what is the website that you want to attack? Is it an e-commerce website or is it a college website? That also decides. And from whom did they purchase that web space is important. If I'm purchasing web space from Wix and all, which is very tough to hack, it's good. But if I'm taking it from some GoDaddy website or something, it's very easy, na? GoDaddy or maybe some blogging sites and all, it's easy. They don't have much security. But if I'm purchasing the web space from somebody like Wix or maybe some higher level, that's where actually depends on who is your internet service provider, what security is giving. Is it Microsoft Azure or is it AWS who is providing you cloud? All that will depend on it. So how did you actually put yourself in what position is important? Got it? Next. If you got no queries, you can log out. Otherwise, you can stay on. Got any doubts? Stay on.
I think all the doubts are clear, sir, from participants. Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative session. Your explanation about this cybersecurity attacks and tools was very valuable for all of us. We truly appreciate you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. And I would also like to inform all the participants that certificates will be provided only to those who have filled the registration form. If you haven't filled yet, kindly please complete it. The registration link is available in the chat box in minutes. So please register it. So thank you so much, sir, for this session.
Ma'am, do you have any recording version of this? You have recorded that? Not recorded.
Yes, sir. It is on the YouTube live also there.
Sure. Okay, it's on live.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Send me the link, ma'am. I'll also share it with my students.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. You can log out.
Sorry, sir.
Can we log out, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, sir, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all, students. Goodbye. Take care. See you.